You are sick and your body is burning. Your forehead is hot to the touch. Your skin is flushed. And yet, strangely, you are shivering under the blankets and cannot get warm. Everyone has been here, and almost everyone misreads it. We treat a fever as the enemy, as the illness itself attacking us, something to be crushed and cooled down as fast as possible. The truth is close to the opposite. That heat is not the infection hurting you, it is your own body deliberately setting itself on fire to fight back. A fever is one of the oldest and most sophisticated weapons your body owns, and once you understand how it works, even the miserable parts start to make a strange kind of sense. To see it, you have to know that your body runs on a thermostat. Deep in your brain sits a small region called the hypothalamus, and one of its jobs is to hold your core temperature at a steady target, right around 37 degrees Celsius. All day, every day, it quietly adjusts you to stay near that number, making you sweat when you run too hot and shiver when you drift too cold. It works exactly like the thermostat on a wall, defending a set point. And here is the key to the entire mystery of fever. When you get sick, that set point does not break. It gets deliberately changed. The change begins with your immune system spotting an invader. When bacteria or a virus get into you, immune cells rush to the scene, and they release chemical alarm signals into the bloodstream. These signals travel up to the brain and reach the hypothalamus, where they trigger the release of a substance that turns the thermostat's dial upward. Your brain, acting on the immune system's report, decides that 37 degrees is no longer the goal. It picks a new, higher target, maybe 39 degrees, and commits to it. Nothing is malfunctioning. Your body has made a calculated decision to run hot on purpose, and now it will do whatever it takes to get there. The messengers doing this even have names. Your immune cells release signaling proteins called pyrogens, which literally means fire makers. And when those reach the hypothalamus, they raise the level of a molecule called prostaglandin E2. That molecule is what actually pushes the thermostat's dial upward. The chain is so precise that the common fever-reducing pills in your medicine cabinet work by blocking that exact molecule, quietly turning the set point back down. This response is also ancient. Some form of fever, of a body deliberately running hotter to fight infection, shows up across a huge range of animals, which is a strong hint that it earns its keep. This single fact explains the most confusing symptom of all, the chills. If your temperature is climbing, why on earth do you feel freezing cold? Because the moment your thermostat resets to a higher number, your body looks at your current, perfectly normal temperature and decides you are now too cold. You are 37 degrees in a body that suddenly wants to be 39. So it does exactly what it would do if you were genuinely freezing. It makes you shiver because shivering muscles generate heat. It clamps down the blood vessels near your skin to trap warmth deep inside, which is why you turn pale and your hands and feet go cold. It even raises goosebumps. You feel icy and huddle under a blanket, not because you are cold, but because your body is furiously burning fuel to climb toward a fever it chose. The shivering is not the fever fighting you, it is the fever being lit. So your body goes to real trouble and burns real energy to heat itself up. That only makes the next question sharper. Why would it want to? Being hot feels awful and costs a lot of fuel, so evolution would never have kept this response unless the heat itself did something useful. It does two things, and both are aimed at the intruder. First, the heat is a direct attack on the invaders. Many of the bacteria and viruses that infect us are finely tuned to thrive at your normal body temperature. Push that temperature up by a couple of degrees, and you make your body a worse place for them to live and multiply. Their growth slows, some of their machinery works less well, and the infection has a harder time gaining ground. Second, and just as important, the heat supercharges your own defenders. A raised temperature makes your immune system more active and more aggressive, speeding up the response and helping your defensive cells move and work faster. In effect, your body turns itself into a hostile furnace for the germ and a performance boost for the troops fighting it. That is why fever is not a random side effect of being sick. It is an ancient, deliberate strategy, one so useful that it appears across a huge range of animals, evolved and kept because bodies that could run a fever fought off infections better. That understanding also explains the moment the fever finally breaks, the turn everyone recognizes as getting better. At some point, the battle winds down, the alarm signals fade, and your hypothalamus resets the thermostat back to its normal 37 degrees. Now the situation flips. Your body, sitting at 39, is suddenly way too hot for its new, lower target, and it needs to dump that extra heat fast. So it throws open the blood vessels near the skin, flushing you, and it switches on your cooling system full blast. You break into a heavy sweat, soaking the sheets, as the evaporating moisture carries the excess heat away. The drenching sweat that signals the fever passing is simply your thermostat cooling you back down to normal, the mirror image of the shivering that started it all. A word of honest caution, because a fever being useful does not mean it is always harmless. A mild to moderate fever is generally your body doing its job, but temperature can climb too high, and a very high fever, a fever in a young baby, or one that drags on, can be genuinely dangerous and is a reason to get medical help rather than to tough it out. This is a description of what your body is doing, not advice on how to treat it. The point is simply that the fever itself is usually not your enemy. It is the sign of a defense system that has taken the field. So the next time you are shaking under a pile of blankets with a burning forehead, you can understand exactly what is going on inside you. Your immune system found an invader and sent word to your brain. Your brain turned up your internal thermostat on purpose. Your body is now shivering and burning fuel to reach a temperature it deliberately chose, a temperature designed to weaken the germ and sharpen your defenders. And when the fight is won, a wave of sweat will cool you back down to normal. It feels like the illness is beating you. In reality, you are watching your body fight with fire. Your body explained. This is Bodyling.